Like I said, good morning and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the episode 164 of the On Air Advocate. Where at the On Air Advocate, we look to provide education, support, and empowerment for all of those with different abilities, mental and medical illnesses, and their caregivers. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Tammy Flynn, and I am the host and producer of the On Air Advocate, and I am super excited if you are taking the time out this morning or this afternoon to see us here live on Facebook, or if you are catching this on the replay. Now, as always, if you think any of the content that we are talking about this morning could be relevant to anyone in your network or your circle, please hit the share button and share the love with others. Well, as you guys know, yesterday we tried to kick off our Hope series, but we had a few technical difficulties. But today, I am so excited because we are up and we are working again, and we have a phenomenal disability advocate, a beautiful beautician, Doaa Shayea, who is here with us this morning to share her story, her journey. And I'm just so excited for you to be here, Doaa. Thank you so much.
No, honestly, thank you for having me. Honestly, it feels amazing to be on this show. I've heard so much about it and what you do, and I really, really appreciate what you do for people like myself. So thank you for having me.
Yes, and I just think you are such an inspiration. I found you via all of your YouTube videos, and we're going to give those links later, but you are just so passionate about sharing what is going on and exposing it. So before we dive into all of that, I would love for you to give the audience just a little bit of a background about yourself.
Okay. Um, so my background kind of conflicts in itself because I started off being a wheelchair racer. I've been doing that for about 10 years out of school. Yeah, you know, Paralympics being the aim. And then things got in the way, personal things, and obviously from doing it from a young age to now I'm 21, and just a lot of life things have come into my life, learning to drive, etc., etc. So and injuries and things like that. So that's been put on hold for a minute in my life right now. And then I went on to go into the beauty industry, where I became a makeup artist. I do hair, makeup, nails. I studied all of this and made it a business. So I did that for about 2 years. And then something that I've always been passionate about, which is to raise awareness for people like myself, to raise awareness for disabilities, wheelchairs, and just difference in general, and to get the world to understand what someone like me goes through, and what all these misconceptions that I got tired of having from people all the time. And I just wanted to find a way to change people's mindsets and perspective on disabilities. So that's now my aim, and what I really am passionate about doing.
Yes, and you are, like I said in my little video about you, I feel like you're the queen of advocacy, or at least the queen in the UK of advocacy, as you are putting everything out, because you are very, very positive with things, as well as passionate, as well as very straightforward when you let people know this is truly what is happening. And so being in the beauty industry and going into that field, and employment, and I know this kind of circles back to our last series, which was on, all things employment and the struggles that young adults have bridging from that transition age into becoming a young adult, and the gap at least that's here in the United States from the age of about 21 till about 55, of a lack of really anything, whether that is the opportunity of doing activities, whether it is employment. There is just, there is not much, and there is not enough funding to bring those things full circle. And so I would love to hear where those struggles have been for you and those in your community in the UK, what some of their deeper struggles are.
So yeah, exactly like you said, and it is like that here in the UK. Funding is a massive, massive issue, and for someone like myself, it is really difficult, because just to give you an example, I have been in the wheelchair that I have now since I was at school, and haven't been able to afford getting a new one. This thing is falling apart, Tammy. Like it's a disgrace to even be in. And the fact that it is my legs and it is the way that I get around. And what makes it even worse is the fact that I have to spend thousands and thousands of pounds out of my own pocket or campaigning for or anything like that to be able to actually get the chair that I need. You'd expect, you'd think that people would not have that be an issue, and it's kind of like saying, oh well, that's your fault that you can't walk. It's That's for you to sort out, like you can't walk until you pay out, where you would think that there would be bigger opportunities, there would be things that would help you not have to spend such crazy amounts on something that you can't go anywhere without, and you'd be homebound. But I think there are like on the NHS here in the UK, you get like vouchers that help you a little bit. But then again, for someone who's like me, who's been an athlete, who's at like that level where you are elite in your wheelchair, you can't afford a standard wheelchair to just something that you could just push along. You need something that will be able to take, wheelies down steps. That again, it all comes down to me adapting myself to a world that is not fitting for me. So I have to find something that's going to fit that world that isn't for me. And then I'm being told that I have to pay thousands and thousands of pounds for something that I deserve, and it is a human right for me to have without having to struggle. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And how about accommodations? I know we're going to talk about even job interviewing, but accommodations when you're going into restaurant stores down the street, how is that in the UK? I know that for every area in the United States, we have all of these acts and laws that you're supposed to have this and you're supposed to have that. But as we find, you know, um, once you have grown to such a size, you're not, a young child anymore, you're older and you are utilizing any type of mobility devices, that sometimes bathroom stalls aren't the equipped size. If you need to do any changing on yourself, I know that the UK does that much better than we do here. We have so many families fighting for that here, for proper changing facilities and things like that. Um, that way, do you find that businesses really are handicapped accessible?
Um, like you said, in the UK, like it is a lot better. I'm grateful for what we do have, and there are there are accessible toilets, and you can get this thing called a radar key, that if you are at a services or anything like that, you can purchase this key to then be able to have access to a disabled toilet. If someone who's a member of staff can't get you in, etc., etc. But saying that as well, there are a lot of buildings, places in here that are labeled as accessible, but really, as soon as I go anywhere near that place, it is nowhere near. Like it is, the doors are really closed in, like the walls. I mean, they're built in very very narrow for someone who's in a wheelchair or electric chair or even a walking frame or anything like that. How are you going to get it into the bathroom? How are you going to get it through that building? um, and it, the fact that it says it's accessible, but in actual fact it really isn't. It's still or there'll be, this is a really funny one, it'll say it's accessible, and then there will be a step, like two steps to get into that accessible area, which makes me think, how is that accessible?
Right,
But
right.
yeah, a lot of places are still really good.
And what about now? I know that you now are able to, you drive a car, correct?
Yeah.
For those that aren't, how is the transportation there? I know that, we have transportation here that if you have different needs, you can then seek out one of those funded places through the state to get picked up by a van and those things, but they're not very good in the sense of always remembering to pick you up, and that sort of thing. And so how is transportation there for those that need help with that?
So are you talking about buses and stuff, or actual like me and my car?
Through the bus, like your whatever type of transit system you have, but then
Yeah,
and maybe you don't know this, because maybe you've never utilized it, but a lot of times when you have different needs, you can get funded like a wheelchair accessible van to pick you up,
yeah,
to take you from place to place.
yeah. Um, so I when I was at a special needs school a long time ago,
Mhm.
I used to. But even when I went to a mainstream school, that I had funded a taxi that would pick me up in the mornings and take me to school and back, and that was completely funded for me to be able to go to school. The only thing um, was that I had to leave my wheelchair in school, and then I would get in and out of the bus, taxi, sorry, with my crutches, and I'd have to make a few steps to get into the chair in school to then carry on with my day in that chair. Um, but I did have to walk on the crutches to get in and out of the taxi, which I don't think, like, for me it's good because I can walk on crutches with being aided, but for someone who isn't able to do that,
Right.
um that might not be seen as great. I mean, I've left school in 2014, so things have probably changed by now. But that's how with the transport it was. And like now, before I passed my driving test, I used to get buses all the time. Like I would get 5, 6 buses in one day, and uh, it was good that they've got ramps for me to be able to go up and in and out and everything. But I always felt like it was quite pressuring for me because for that to happen, the bus driver had to get out of his seat and then take the ramp down while everybody was queuing, waiting to get on. And then for me to get up that ramp and then for him to put the ramp back and then just carry on. So I learned to teach myself to be able to hop on and off buses. So then it would just save me from that embarrassment in a way. But
Right.
health and safety reasons as well, I would get told off by a few bus drivers just because it doesn't look good on them for me to hop on and off a bus, but it's just quicker for me and it's more convenient, and I don't like people waiting around for me. It just makes me feel like I'm a burden for their weight, if that makes any sense.
Yes, yes. Um, and now kind of on to that employment that we talked about. Now you are in the beauty industry. Did you go and start studying that right out of high school?
I'm a self-taught makeup artist. Literally
Okay.
taught myself from the age of 10 and even younger. I've always been into my beauty, always been into that fashion, diamonds, glitter, anything you name, girly, I am into that, and I still am now. And it's gonna be forever in my heart. So it's something that I was born with that passion, and the only way that I thought that I could justify to the world or be taking even the smallest bit seriously by everyone else was to educate myself even more. Yes, I was self-taught, but I didn't think that anyone would take me seriously. I had to have a qualification for me to be seen anywhere with the rest of the world. And I studied it and tried really hard and studied all aspects of beauty just so that I can offer more than one thing and more than one service. And I did study for a long time, got myself to the level that I was happy with. And obviously, being self-taught with makeup, like I added on to that, so that even makes it even better. And then, yeah, I just did it like that.
And so, in going kind of into the beauty industry and loving the glitz and the glam, what challenges employment wise have you found, with that? Some of those stereotypes that are out there and how you are perceived within the beauty industry. And then, I don't know outside of that, other employment opportunities, that have, I don't know if they've been positive responses for you.
Honestly, tell me, if I was to tell you about this, you would need to give me at least 2 days. Like the things I could tell you about this subject, but honestly, to make it short and sweet and to really just get to the point with this is I left the beauty industry because of how perfection it really was seen as. and anyone less than perfect is not welcomed in the beauty industry. And as sad as that like is to say and for me to feel, but that is the raw truth about it. Perfection is what beauty is seen as, and if you don't fit that, then you're not wanted. Going to interviews to do work in salons, or to even do what I preferred more, which was to do some work in, you know, so if you go to a big beauty shop, and I don't know what you have. You
Oh,
guys
like
have
like an Ulta or a Sephora, like a makeup store,
yeah,
like the
yes,
big makeup stores. We have Ulta and Sephora here.
I love that. Yes, so that's what I really wanted to do, and a lot of people, like people that I went to be interviewed by and stuff, you know, they took one look at me, and it didn't matter what I could offer or how good my skills were. It was just because as soon as you look at me, I'm not perfect. I'm not that pretty girl that's standing up who can be on her feet all day long and reach this and reach that. And do you know what I mean? I'm this girl who sat down, who you can clearly see that I'm not like the rest. And it people don't want change. People don't want to see something different. And I think disability makes people feel uncomfortable, so it may not be that business itself, but
Mhm.
they know that the people that they're trying to promote to their business to and everything, they want to please them, they want to give them something to please on the eyes. And I personally feel from my experience, the fact that I'm sat down and I'm nowhere near perfect looking because of my wheelchair, it puts people off. And I've even had women in my industry doing the beauty business saying to me that they feel uncomfortable for me to do their makeup because I'm sat down. And that's crazy to me, because how is that affecting my ability in my hands? How is that affecting the way I'm doing your makeup? You've seen my skills, you've seen my work. You can be confident that I could give you the perfect look you want, yet you are picking not to because I'm sat down. You're not exactly going to be standing up when I'm doing your makeup. We're both going to be at the same level. Why should that affect me being like everyone else and working like everyone else to earn money and earn a living and earn respect like the rest of the world?
Right, right. And there's so much adversity. I mean, when we kind of go back to, our discussion over the last 20 minutes, from different transportation to getting into, different buildings to funding to even getting an appropriate, chair for yourself that, you utilize and that you work with. There is so much adversity that way. And definitely, some know on the show and some don't, that, I am also in the beauty industry. And I can say that that's a fact, is that there is so many stereotypes, and you should be this weight, and you
Yeah,
should be this tall, and all
yeah,
of that. And so the layers just keep growing in that. And we have our community member, Evelina, who is out of California, who's been on twice now, and she talks about that so much, and all of the concessions that she has had to make to be in this industry. And so even outside of the beauty industry, would you say other jobs or opportunities that you have applied for, since you have been, a teen, that there has been that same adversity as within you applying for things in the beauty industry?
yeah. I don't think it's just because it's the beauty industry. Yes, the beauty industry is about perfection, and it is about you looking perfect, weight, size, and you just got to be a perfect human, which doesn't exist. But I think um, this problem is in, like, further out. It's with other jobs. It's the fact that the disability is there, and how a business or a person just doesn't perceive that person as capable. We're not seen as capable human beings. We're not seen as an individual that can do amazing successful things and beyond. We are seen as pitied. We are seen as someone who is, oh bless, like, well done for existing, or carrying with, like, living life. We're not seen as anything beyond that, and that is the problem, and that is what really needs to change. This is why I've made my YouTube channel. This is why I want to educate. This is what I want to change. I want to change that negative, toxic mindset of, oh, you're disabled, you are not successful, or never will be anything.
Now, with that being said, have you had any interviews? I know that a lot of the young adults that I have interviewed over time have said that they have done interviews with people over the phone, they sent their resume in, and the minute that the employer finds out that they utilize a wheelchair or they show up for the interview, there's like this shocked look upon their face, like, oh, and so many have said it this way: the interview is over before it ever even starts. Have you found those same experiences?
1000%. I even got to the point where I no longer wrote that I am in a wheelchair in my CV. And the response I got there, I had people making me go and see them and go through the interview until I turn up with the wheelchair. And you could just see it in their face. And like, I just have to just laugh about it now. It's just, you know, they see you and they're just like, and they just look you from your feet up, and it's, you could already see in their eyes that they're saying, no, this is not going to work. You're not even giving me a chance to prove myself. You're not even giving me a chance to show you my skills or anything like that. You're ruling me off just because of the thing that I'm sat on, and that is wrong, and it
Mm-hmm.
is unfair.
It is. And, you know, that is truly what I love about you. And when people are hearing you speak right now, they can hear your passion coming through and how much that you want to create change. And so, with your page, your YouTube channel, all of those things, I know outside of employment, you also heavily campaign for some other things, you know, that you do advocate for, as well as employment, things along like the mental health area and whatnot. What are some of those other things that you're very passionate about?
I think the most important thing about being an advocate is, and to be a great one at that as well, is not just advocating one thing. Or for example, if I just advocated for the wheelchairs in general and that was it, that would make me not a great one, because you have to talk about the whole aspect of disability. You have to talk about every individual. If you want to call yourself someone who wants to make change, you have to go and make that range of people be seen and talked about, not just one particular thing that's just going to benefit you.
Right.
So I want to be the voice for disabilities in general, wheelchairs or not, and we all go through the same stuff. And that brings me on to talking about mental health, because we all feel the same with mental health. We all go through it, whether you have a disability or not. You are going to suffer with mental health, whether you choose to talk about it or not. But I have got to a point where mental health has been a massive part of my life, and it's been the reason why I've broken down and built myself back up. It's a massive aspect in life, and it's something that people need to acknowledge and not need to ignore, because I've been doing that for all my life, and only last year was the year that I completely lost it. And I had to really, really grab myself from like the bottom, and I mean the bottom, Tammy. I was literally so close to losing it, and that is all just due to not being accepted. And it's something that I will be bringing up in my YouTube channel, because it is a big topic. It's very personal to me, and being someone who can't talk about personal things and stuff, but because I want to make change, I want to talk about it. I want to let people know that it does happen, and mental health is normal, and it's okay to have, as long as you can pull yourself back and not let it be the reason you ruin your life for the rest of your life, if you even continue with your life.
Right. And so much we talk about on this show with mental health, that you are not alone. So much of the time we think that we're the only ones fighting those battles inside of us. But the truth is that, you know, probably 95% of the population is going through different things, and everyone's struggle is different, and everyone's struggle should be valued and is valuable, you know, when we speak about it. But that, you know, you are not alone, and it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, hey, I'm having a bad day, or this isn't, you know, going well. But so much of the time, because of judgment and stigma, we keep that all inside, you know, and it definitely needs to be talked about. And I think that the more young people that come out in different industries and in different places start talking about it, the more that will stamp out that stigma.
Exactly. I agree. 100%.
I do. And so as we look, we're in the year 2020, so it's the new decade. What are the things that you are looking forward to this year, in advocacy, putting out, kind of growing, those sorts of things?
That's exactly what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to bringing out more awareness, bringing out great content for YouTube, and bringing out all the stuff that I think the media and the whole, just the world in general, keeps hidden away. I want to be the person to bring it up, to talk about it, and to let the world know us and know us for how we are capable and how we are great human beings and how we can be just as successful, and we deserve every right like every other person to achieve what it is we want to achieve in life, and not have accessibility issues being a problem, and people's misconceptions and perceptions and this stigma around disability. I want to be able to get rid of that, or even just teach one or two people that can be like, oh, you know that girl on YouTube, why are you saying that someone in a wheelchair can't do this? Because she's talking about how she does this, she's shown she can do that. And then slowly and slowly, like, I hope that it gets people to know that we are capable. And just from seeing one person and knowing about them, there's not just me. I'm not the only one who's successful at what I'm doing. I'm not the only one who's, you know, done all this and done all that. There's other people like me, and we still exist, and we are there. We just need people to shut themselves out of from this horrible toxic mindset of, oh, you're disabled, you'll never be anything, to, yes, you are capable. Yeah, you have to do it differently, but that doesn't mean you're not doing it. You're just doing it in a way that is able for, to be done for you.
Right, right. So really the year of exposure.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good, yeah, that's the shortcut of it. The year of exposure.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? I just wanted to, before we wrap up, I thought it was so profound. I had saw in, I don't know whether it was on one of your channels or one of the things that you were speaking about, of you wish that you had a role model. When you look at the media, when you look at stars, when you look at that, and it almost really, it's probably going to make me cry right now. It almost tears my eyes, because you think about it, who is everyone looking to? You know what I'm saying? Who are their role models? You know, within this space of being differently abled, who are the people that they are striving for? And especially as a young girl, you looking at things you have passion about. You know, you have passion about glitz and gloss and glitter, and I'm certain that there's millions of others that have that same passion. Have you spoke much about that?
Um, on my YouTube channel.
Yes.
Well, so that was a YouTube video that I said that I wish that I had a role model in the media, and I I've got plenty more to come up on about that topic. And again, it's another one personal and close to my heart, because it's something that I grew up, and I really struggled, genuinely really struggled growing up in school were the darkest and hardest times of my life, because I was only a little kid trying to come into terms with being different, with not being able to walk, and it it was really difficult for me. And I will be doing a YouTube video for people if they want to see about that. But I truly believe that you have to be your own person, and you have to be your own role model for yourself. Searching around looking for someone else is what I did, and it was what broke me, because I couldn't find a guidance. I didn't have that. There was nothing there for me to be able to look up, and at 13 years old be like, oh well, something to teach me, to let me know that everything's going to be okay, that I will be okay, that I can be successful, and I will have a great future ahead of me, and not to ignore the comments about not being successful, and that I'm just nothing but a disabled person. as a retard. I've always felt like that, and that's how I've been made to feel. And then you start believing it. But if you believe in yourself and believe that you're your own role model, and prove it to yourself. Don't worry about proving it to other people, because once you've proved it to yourself and you've found self-love and acceptance, then you become unstoppable, and no one can stop you because you have accepted you, and you are on to bigger and better things. And for me, it is to go and educate and inspire those people that have doubted me, that have told me that I will never be anything because I'm just a wheelchair, not even a human. I'm just compared to a wheelchair. And for those people, they need love and they need education, and sometimes they need to accept themselves to then not make someone else feel like they are not a human being.
You know, Joa, you may have not been able to, as a young girl, find a role model, but guess what? You are a role model.
Thank
So
you.
now all those girls that are, you know, that are out there that have those same feelings and are in their teen years, they have someone to look up to. And I would love to carry on the conversation more in detail about the beauty industry, all of that, and bring together kind of a crew of others, because I'm sure that there are many others that are practicing in that field, and really touch light on some of these other subjects in a much deeper way. You
Mhm.
know, but as this being the Hope series, where I wanted to bring you on really is that you inspire others. You are the true meaning of hope, you know, showing that you can start from here and get to there and, you know, strive and push. And I have no doubt in my mind, give it 5 years. And, you know, we'll have the beauty industry buzzing about this, as well as I'm sure within the UK, making so much change, you know, for others. And so I am just so happy that you were able to come on this morning and you were able to share, and excited for more videos and you sharing your story, because, you know, within this space, you know, that's how so many grow and learn is from others, because really truly that's the truth in everything, right? Our own journeys of failure and success, and
Yeah.
how we continue to advocate and fight through things. So I'm so thankful that you were on today. If folks are listening and they want to find that YouTube channel, or to get in contact with you, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Okay, so I have my three main social media platforms, which is obviously YouTube. So just type in Doaa Shayea and my YouTube channel will come up. And then I have Instagram, which is doa.shayea. And my Twitter is just at Doaa Shayea. I will link them in down below when we are done. But yeah, please feel free to have a chat. I'm always down to speaking to people who are able-bodied and who aren't, and getting ideas if people want certain videos to be made, any topic they want me to talk about. I'm always down for new content ideas and anything like that. So yeah, please get into contact, and I'll be happy to just talk more about just getting that awareness out there. So thank you.
Wonderful. Well, we'll look forward to dropping that below. Always, you can shoot me an email over here at the On Air Advocate, and I can get that over to Doa as well. So with that, thank you so much for everyone who tuned in the UK this afternoon, and anyone that is viewing us bright and early this morning here. I know on the East Coast it's a little bit later. It's really, really early on the West Coast. It's only 5 in the morning, so I'm not sure if they're all up. But here in Wisconsin, it's 7:37 and cold. Before we log off, Joa, what's the weather like by you?
Girl, it is sunny, and this little bit of sun that's like reflecting. I'm trying to like go so you cannot see it, but yeah, it's sunny for once, so it must be a great day.
And your
we
diamonds
never
are sparkling on your
we
sleeve.
never have we never have sun here. We never do. It's always raining in Great Britain.
Oh, is it?
Oh, girl, it's always raining. It's hardly ever great weather, but
Today.
today is all right.
Uh-huh.
Must be your good luck.
The sun is shining. You are bringing the light to everyone, Doaa.
You are. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Tammy. It really means a lot. I'm really grateful. It's been a pleasure being on the show.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing, and you will definitely be on again. We need to wrangle a whole bunch of you together for our show so we can really dive deep into all of this
I
employment.
look forward to it.
Yeah, so on that, I wish everybody a very, very wonderful Tuesday. And if you want any more information about the On Air Advocate, you can head on over to onairadvocate.com and find all of our resources that are there. Or if you'd like to join our private community, head up to the top of this Facebook page, hit the blue button, and that will let you into our private group. So on that, have a fabulous day. Thanks so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.